Hey, how's it going? It's Michael J at MJ, and we have Kate who has the blue screen of death. And so once her computer is currently back up and running, she'll be able to join us. And we will be talking today about National Preparedness Month. So disasters don't plan ahead, but you can. And the entire month of September observes the National Preparedness Month. So we'll be talking about some different things that you can prepare for while you're on. So if you are live and you're listening to us, let us know where you're watching from down in the comments. If you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and put down in the comments where you're watching from so that we know where our audience is coming from. So, oh, so no matter where you live or what sort of subject to a disaster, natural disasters and man-made disasters affect everyone and cause damage and can also endanger lives. Whether it's hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, landslides, wildfires, hot spells, cold spells, and all other natural disasters that can be deadly to people and property. And then there's man-made disasters, which is like your computer turning to blue screen and leaving your co-host hanging in the balance with nothing to talk about. Therefore, you need to prepare so that you have all that stuff that you're ready for. And
Yeah.
it's essential
Hi, good
for safety
morning.
for you and yourself. So, good morning. How are you?
I feel like I need a booster seat, so I don't know how to make myself not look so short. There we
Yeah.
go. That's better, right?
So,
There.
there you go. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
It's been a
morning.
morning, Michael
Morning. Well,
J. I still don't
yeah.
understand what happened. Oh, crud.
But if you're watching,
I
go ahead
am.
and put it down in the comments down here where you're watching from.
Oh,
So,
shoot, but all
looks
my
like we
notes
have.
are in my bag, which is.
Well, there you go. So, our preparedness one might be like last month. um, so, um, yeah. So, one of the things that we learned while living in Florida, because we lived in Florida for 21 years, is to prepare for hurricanes. The nice thing about a hurricane is that you kind of sort of have advance warning when it's coming, so you can make sure you have all the supplies in the house ready to go. Other disasters such as earthquakes or um, sometimes fires, you don't really have the opportunity to go ahead and get things done. But here's some basic things that you should have around the house. You should have a flashlight with batteries that work, extra clothing. Make sure that you have a can opener that is manual, not just electric. You have one, a first aid kit, and plenty of extra blankets, candles, maybe some dry matches if you have to start a fire, and then some kind of stove that runs off of either propane or your extra gas for your grill. So that could even help you in the wintertime.
Is that for
Those are
a
some basic
hurricane or?
Just some basic things to have around the house, just because for a hurricane you can prepare in advance, but other storms you can't. And so if you always just have a couple extra things lying around the house, um, you'll be able to um, have some stuff as we go into winter here in the north. And this will be our fifth winter in the north, and we know to always have some extra canned goods on hand, and that our propane tank is full for our gas grill in an emergency. But we do have natural gas coming to the house, so that kind of helps as far as like cooking and things like that. So, and our
Um,
fireplace.
so Michael J,
Yes.
how did you prepare for Y2K? Do you remember Y2K?
Was that before my time? I don't remember.
You know when it turned to the year 2000?
we we went to the store because we're like, we had friends who prepared heavily. They went to
Hmm.
co-ops, bought large bags of food, and bought canners and was canning wheat and stocking up the barn. And that, that's what they needed to do to stock up to get make sure they had plenty of food and stuff. We went and bought 2 cans of tuna, 2 cans of spam, and a case of Fresca.
That's awesome. Um, I was still kind of in college at that point, I think. Um, I mean, I guess not kind of. We were all still in college, my friends and I. So my preparation plan consisted of buying a really cute black dress for the New Year's Eve party.
Okay.
That's how we prepared for Y2K.
Yeah, we went and bought the craziest soda we could find, like Fresca, Tab, Diet Tab.
What about Fago? You probably didn't even know about Fago until 5 years
No,
ago.
no. So we bought whatever we could buy crazy, canned meats, all that kind of stuff. And then when Y2K was over, obviously, then that following weekend, we invited all the people to the house from the church, from
Hmm.
the single adult ministry, and we served it up like it was a fancy feast.
That's awesome. I like it. Yep.
Sliced spam and rolled it up, and yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. So, in all seriousness, though, being prepared is important. Now that I'm not a young college student, I understand the value in preparing your home for a storm like we had last night. Um, One of my friends posted on Facebook today that they're going to be without power until Wednesday
Oh,
at
wow.
9 p.m.
Yeah, I
is
picked up the
the.
dogs, and the they were running on generator. The kennel.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. A few years ago, I don't know if you guys were living up here yet or not. I think you were, but there was a big storm that came through towards. It was either. It had to have been. It was during Awana, actually. I do remember this now because one of the um, volunteers for Awana, her daughter worked at the zoo, and the exhibit at the zoo where the stingrays are, where you can pet the stingrays and stuff. A storm came through and the power went out, and they lost all of their stingrays. They died
Oh,
because
that's awful.
it was terrible. And it was a big to do. Like people were mad at the zoo. Like, how could you not be prepared? And that's animal cruelty. And it's like they didn't plan to euthanize however many stingray fish they
Hmm.
had. Right? It was a freak accident and sad. I'm not saying it's not sad, but yeah, that happened. There was a tornado siren going off during Awana. So you can imagine Awana is like a program for those of you listening that has children from preschool through sixth grade um, learning about the Bible and things. And imagine having 100 preschoolers through sixth graders crammed into a hallway at a church because the tornado sirens are going off and you can't let them leave. Parents were showing up. Let me take my kid. And I'm like, I'm really sorry. You need to wait till the storm passes. We can't let anyone leave the building right now. Um, Honestly, you're safer in the building than you are driving home because the tornado sirens are literally going off as people are trying to pick their kids up. Which I guess happened at the elementary school yesterday too. The sirens weren't going off, but they delayed pickup because the storms were so bad they didn't want the kids exiting the building.
Okay.
In
Okay.
Rockford.
Yeah.
So always be prepared. Always be prepared.
Yep. I announced my exit that I didn't know was prior to the storm, and to finish up a couple more things, so it was pouring. So I exit in the rain.
Yes. Yep.
So
So
it
do you
took
have
me
a
an
battery backup for your
exit to get north.
computers, Michael J?
So these computers are not. So if we could actually like lose feed and
Okay.
on this, well, we do have a generator for the house if like the power was out like forever or was out long term. But yeah, I haven't invested in
So your IT
really
friend
because
Matt Landis would. Why my internet is sketchy,
recommend that I
Michael
get
J. I don't
what?
know what's going on. Yeah, because
Yeah,
you'll lose. You could
you
damage
seem
your computer.
yeah. No, everything's on a surge protection, but not a battery backup. But
Yeah, that doesn't
I would need
necessarily protect you.
probably yeah, I know, but then I would need like of them because they're throughout the house. So like the router's in a different place than the modem, and that's the
You don't
IT
really
talk
need to worry
there.
about
And the
the
computers
router.
are the
You just need to
newsroom.
protect the computer. Protect the computer. If you lost the
Well, no, the
internet,
computer's
not the end
protected
of the
through the
world.
surge. Well, it
No,
would be if we're live.
I'm telling
If
you,
we're
Matt will
live.
tell you, you need a surge protector. Or, I'm sorry, a battery backup. The surge protector is not enough. You can still fry your
Okay.
computer. Just saying.
Okay.
We have one, and it's annoying.
Interesting.
We think the battery's dying because it went off in the middle of the night and it scared Teresa. Because it's like this annoying, like beeping noise. Beep, beep, beep. Every 5 or 10 seconds or something.
So other than
Sounds like we
winter
gotta.
coming and losing the power, what are some other disasters that might occur here in Michigan?
So actually, I had someone reach out to me yesterday about a tree falling in their yard. And your homeowner's insurance will give you some coverage for like tree removal and things, but really you want to make sure that your trees are properly trimmed. A lot of people like in more mature neighborhoods, mature meaning the age of the neighborhood, not the age of the people living there, that have like the really old trees that start hanging over your roof or whatever. Um, it's really important that you trim those branches back to protect your house from damage. Um, that's a really important one. Or like, because sometimes the roots this happened at my grandfather's house when I was living with him. The roots were so old and they were growing into the foundation and they cracked the sewer line. So really paying attention to your tree growth. And hey, Robin. Robin is with Gordon Water Supply.
So if the
So
trees get into your roots and you lose your water, then Gordon Water Supply could bring you out some temporary water.
yes, they could. I wonder if they help with the PFAS zone, if they're the water supplier for that. Anyways, yeah, PFAS, it's a thing. That's get things tested. That's the other thing. A lot of people don't do like in our neighborhood, Michael J. I don't know if you saw the post, but about the radon mitigation system. When we moved into our neighborhood before we bought our house, part of our inspection was the radon testing. And so we had a radon mitigation system installed that will help prevent you from getting cancer. That Robin says yes, they are the water supplier for the PFAS zone, which is good. They
So,
need.
and she's on LinkedIn, which is pretty cool that she's watching from
Mhm.
LinkedIn.
Awesome. That is really cool.
Yeah.
But other ways that you need to get prepared, other than having that battery backup, Michael J, get one. I recommend it. Trimming back your tree branches. You also want to have a plan, an exit plan for you and your family. Where are you going to meet? Because storms can cause fires, um, or if there's mass damage to your home and you don't know where to go, know what neighbor house you're going to meet at. And this is something I just learned today from an electrician. Most like electrical deaths are caused from 110 uh, watts or amps or something like that. The most common like light bulb kind of thing, the 110-watt light bulb. He had a client call him yesterday. The power line, a tree was leaning, didn't fall, but leaning on the power line, and he went out to test it with like a electrical, like the client did, like a everyday Joe, like you or me, to see if there was any electricity coming in, and there were 68 or 65 amps coming from the tree, just the tree itself. And the electrician was like, "Get your butt back in the house. Stop touching the tree. Call consumers." So part of being prepared is actually like educating yourself on the risks and your kids. Like kids don't realize the dangers of things like electricity from a down power line, and that's why you see those ads, right? That consumer does, making sure that you're safe. That's the other reason why you need to trim those trees, because you don't want them landing on power lines. It is not consumers' responsibility to trim your tree that's in your yard. Just saying. That's me
Yeah.
off my
So
soapbox.
we had a tree in the wooded area behind us fall yesterday due to the wind. There was no like lightning; it just went and
Uh-huh.
missed the two houses behind us. But they have leaves and obviously branches in their yard. So um, then it's like, well, who's responsible for that? Is it the property owner that's back there that's responsible for taking care of that, or do you just take care of what's on your side of the lot? So
So from an insurance perspective, if a tree falls on your house, even if it's your neighbor's tree, you are the one that has to file the claim, not your neighbor, because it's
okay,
your house.
it's your house.
Just
Okay.
just 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 throwing that out there. It's not their insurance that would pay for the damage. It's your insurance that would pay for it.
Oh, it wouldn't be
Um,
their liability
nope,
insurance. Nope.
nope. It's yours. Your insurance. Your house, your insurance. That's why we all have house insurance. You might be able to
Okay.
subrogate against the other party, but usually in those events when they did nothing wrong and the wind causes the tree to fall, as long as it's, a well maintained area, you're not gonna, there's no liability there unless it, you know, hurt you or a child or something. Um, Other things that you also need to do to prepare for winter are, and this has to be regular maintenance too, is check your furnace filters. You don't want to have your furnace stop working because you failed to maintain it by just checking your furnace filter. Make sure you get your dryer vents cleaned every year. That's a really big, huge cause for house fires. Um, and I don't know if you do this, Michael J, but what about like in the wintertime? Do you wait to get your kids their snowsuits, or do you have them before the first large storm of the year?
Well, they don't really have to wear snowsuits like they did in elementary. But in elementary, we used to buy them ahead of time because we couldn't find them once the snowstorm came.
Yeah.
And we try to buy them like a size bigger so
Hmm.
that they could actually like wear them for more than one season. But
Yes. Also, you need to maintain your own sidewalks and driveway. If someone were to slip and fall on your driveway, um, it's why I get nervous with bus stops being in people's property. That's especially if they don't have kids. just because it is a liability and it is their responsibility to keep it shoveled. And if a kid were to get hurt, that's the property owner's fault for not maintaining their sidewalks. We always forget to get the salt though until after the first ice storm, and then we're like, oh crap.
Yeah, because here in Michigan, it's so hilarious. If you don't buy the salt before like January 20th, it's not available. It's just not around, you know. And
It's not.
and you don't really need it till February, so but you gotta buy it in November.
You do. And then when you don't have it, and then you're like us, we live on that corner lot, so we get tons of
Yeah,
foot traffic. I
yeah,
mean, you know, you live on a corner lot too, so
yeah.
like there's lots of people walking around, and I'm just like, every time I see it and I don't have my ice out or my salt out, I'm like, oh gosh, please be careful, please be careful. And we have a really huge sloped driveway, so I have to gun it to get up my driveway in the wintertime. So
Oh, there you
Matt
go.
and I need
Yeah.
to do a better job at being prepared and having the ice or the salt for the ice.
It's coming out November, guys. As soon as you see pumpkins, start thinking salt.
Yeah. And instead of a salted caramel latte, maybe it needs to be a salted pumpkin
Salted
latte.
driveway. Salted driveway latte.
Yes, yes. Oh, speaking of latte, what's in your coffee mug, Michael J?
Coffee and some hazelnut creamer.
Oh, nice. Oh, Robin says that you can actually get sidewalk salt from Gordon Food Supply. I had no idea that that was a thing.
Well, there you go.
I wonder if
They
they
carry
I wonder if they
sidewalk
deliver.
salt.
Robin, do you deliver your sidewalk salt like you do the water? Because that would be awesome. Um, so we only have about 10 minutes left and no one likes to talk
Oh, is that
about
because they have? Is that because they have salt for the water
the water
systems?
softener.
That's what.
Oh,
That's why
you're
they have
smart,
salt.
Michael
So then
J.
they would. That's why they carry salt.
Oh, that's so smart. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Thanks,
Um,
Robin. Uh,
and
so,
they deliver the salt too.
yeah, there you go. There you go.
So
So,
that you can get your water delivery, your water softener salt, and your salt for your sidewalk. Give Gordon Water Supply a call. They'll hook you up.
so speaking of our next thing you were going to talk about, which is being prepared and talking about life and life insurance and being prepared in that way, I want to tell you about a book called The Final Chapter. And it's an end of life organization planning tool. And I would show you mine, other than it's not a book you keep on the shelf, it's a book you fill out and then you put it in a safe place, and it has all the information that you're going to need once your final chapter comes around, so that your spouse isn't left wondering what to do about XYZ, or when you do this YZ. You can fill it all out in the book. Sit down and fill it out together. You could order a copy and get it with the and fill it out with your parents. And I don't specify this book in particular, other than the fact that the author is a personal friend of mine, Susan Hooker, and she Patrick Hooker, and she did this because her and her dad were trying to come out with something that was able to put together. They couldn't find any book, and so really this is more like a workbook that you could sit down with your family and friends, and you can get your copy for $14.95 at Amazon, and support my friend Suze Patrick Hooker as she authors books and such.
Awesome. That's excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like to talk about the end of their life. And statistically, only from a life insurance perspective, only about 44% of our population actually has the life insurance they need. And I shouldn't say that. Only 44% of people actually have life insurance they own, meaning it's not a work benefit. It's actually something that they have a policy paper in their hand that they pay for every month that leaves with them when they leave their company. But only 20% of the population is actually properly protected. A lot of people got like a life insurance policy back when they were 23 years old, newlywed. They got a $125,000 life insurance policy, but their needs have changed, their lifestyles have changed, and a lot of people are grossly underinsured, meaning there might be enough to help keep you afloat for a year after a spouse or significant other passes away, but you need to be thinking about your children's future so that your spouse doesn't have to get remarried. And one of the things that's really a lot different than it used to be in the past is like our parents' generation, Michael J., they lived in their home for 30 years. And then after the mortgage was paid, they stayed there. But we see a lot of people older moving after their kids graduate, becoming empty nesters, and they get a mortgage in their 60s, and their spouse is not in a situation to pay for that if one of them shouldn't come home tomorrow. So it's really important to talk to someone that can walk you through step by step. This is what we have. These are our debts. This is the inheritance we want to leave. A lot of people don't realize that there's tax advantages to life insurance. It's not just a piece of paper, but it actually can prove to change your child's life when you're not there to support them any longer. Um, and we also have a tool similar to that book that you have, Michael J., that your friend writes. All of our clients get, all of our life insurance client, ugh, all of our life insurance clients, say that real fast, get a life organizer to make sure that all of those important pieces of information are kept somewhere. Um, it's not fun watching your family struggle trying to figure out what's the password, what accounts do we have, um, and just saying that it's in this folder over there. But if you've never actually logged into those accounts, it might be a little bit more than just the password, because what if there's two-factor authentication? That's a thing. I love the ticker. Nice work, producer Michael J. Um, yeah, I just, it breaks my heart when I meet with clients. Unfortunately, no one wakes up thinking they're not going to wake up tomorrow, right? Most people know tomorrow is coming, and tragedy happens every day. Recently, a 41 and a 42-year-old were killed tragically in a car accident, and their families' lives were forever changed. And if they didn't have the right plan in place in dealing with their grief, they also would have to deal with the financial stress, and it's just not pretty. So yeah, now that I was the Debbie Downer of the day,
Oh, goodness.
it's also important to work with a financial advisor on those life insurance needs too, um, because you may have goals that you want to achieve financially, and your financial advisor will help you make sure that you're investing your money in the right way, saving your money in a bank the right way, and also properly protecting your family with life insurance in the right way, instead of just going directly through um, a life insurance person. It's a group effort. There's a couple financial advisors that I work with that I make sure know what's going on with my clients so that they do all have the insurance they need.
Yep, and it's always important to make sure that you have the right kind and for the right amount.
Yes, yes. I actually know a couple people that are like, "Oh, I know I don't have the right amount of life insurance because I don't want to be worth more dead than alive." And I'm like, um, that's a you say that until your family loses you, and then your family's going to wish you actually had the right amount in place.
Yeah.
Your
So,
husband's not going to kill you for your life insurance. She's always against that. So
yeah, because then that would be insurance fraud, and then there would be
hmm
there would be a problem,
yeah,
So, mm,
yeah, yeah. And it's relatively affordable if you are getting the right plans for your budgetary needs. It's silly not to have the right plan in place. Your family will thank you later.
well, thank you to Robin who helped join the conversation to get today. She wanted to make sure that we differentiated between the salt that goes in the softener and the salt that goes on the sidewalk. So, just in case there was any confusion, it's different kinds of salt. So, keep that in mind. And it's super important to have.
A plan.
Hold on, a plan. There we go. Thanks for joining us, Robin. So it's always good to have somebody on the line so that we can interact with you
Yes.
and do that. And again, if you need some sort of help with insurance, Miss Kate over here at the Landis Agency can definitely help you get that all together. And the book today that we were talking about was the final chapter, and it was by Suzanne Hooker.
Are you going
And
to post the link in the comments for that?
I will put the link in the comments for that. It's available on Amazon, and it looks like this. This is what it looks like, and it's literally a book. You fill it out, and you put all your information in there, and you help my friend out, Miss Sue, who's a fantastic person. So,
Michael J
um,
knows all of the fantastic people, by the way. He is the knower of all the people.
so what was I going to share? One little tidbit here. So that now that we're at the end of the summer, it's important to look back and identify specific trends that have been going on over the last 4 months here in the housing market. And a couple of things that I wanted to share with you is that 355,000 is now been the average sale price in the Kent County area for the last 5 months. So it's been kind of flat, stayed there for the last 5 months, about 355,000. In August, homes sold for about $3,400, 3,400 over the asking price, or the list price, to in the last, let's see, over asking. That's the closest amount to the actual retail price, right? Go with
Hmm.
like Bob Barker, right? In the last 18 months. So August is, you can really see that people aren't overpaying
The
for
market
houses.
is
They're actually,
stabilizing.
yeah, it's kind of coming down a little bit. So, and then about 54% of all the homes sold over list price, and that's down from even the peak of 70% in June last month. So it's down to about 54%. So, and then right now, about 18% of homes actually need a price reduction in order for them to get sold as of here at the end of August. So you can't, if you know, if you were thinking you were going to sell your house for $50 billion and and you think the market's crazy, and it's, you need to get with your real estate professional because things have shifted and changed a little bit, and so you might not be getting the amount that you would have got last year, but you could still a great time to buy or sell either way. So, and what
Mhm.
the other, because the great thing that's happened is that for this month versus same time last year, we have 40% more inventory than last year. So that's good for buyers because there's twice as many houses that are available right now on the market
You actually have
than there were
options.
last year. So you have options, and and then sellers have a little bit more competition. So you need to be savvy with how you're marketing your home. And so definitely call your trusted real estate agent, and I'd be more than happy to do that for you, and give you the estimates and the best way to market your home. So that's the final chapter. Thanks, Sue
Awesome.
Zucker. So we'll be seeing you next week. We'll be talking about Art Prize. If you're not familiar with Art Prize, you live out of the area. It's something that happens here in West Michigan, and it's quite an ordeal. It's about a month-long arts festival, and there's so many nuances and things about it that we'll be doing a whole show on how to get prepared, because it's Preparedness Month, and how to get prepared to see yourself be a part of this. So,
Our prize is a great event. I can't
yep.
wait.
So,
I'm
all
excited.
right, Kate. Any parting shots?
See you here next week, 9 a.m.
9 a.m. Tuesday, and yeah, that was our 35th show. So we're
Be
doing it.
prepared, like a Girl Scout or a Boy
Be
Scout.
prepared.